Hello, dear viewers. Time again for the news here on Rwanda Television with me, Sarah Shinhore. We'll begin with the headlines. Parents here in Rwanda have been urged to make full use of early childhood development centers in their communities. The Ministry of Education has assured parliamentarians that it will address the shortcomings in the oversight of public finances within its affiliated institutions. And on the international scene, the Democratic Republic of the Congo has launched the world's first clinical trial for treatments aimed specifically at the Bunyibungo strain of Ebola. Now let's move straight to the details. The Ministry of Education has assured the Parliamentary Public Accounts Committee, that it will address the shortcomings in internal oversight of public finances within its affiliated institutions. The assurance comes after the committee observed that inadequate monitoring of how funds allocated to those institutions are spent is one of the factors contributing to financial losses incurred by the government. The Ministry of Education affiliated institutions that appeared before PAC on Friday to publicly account for irregularities identified in the management of public finances and state assets included the National Examination and School Inspection Authority, NESA, the RwandaTV Board, and Rwanda Polytechnic. According to members of PAC, the issues identified included poor management of costly equipment purchased by RTB and failure by NESA to comply with public procurement laws. Officials from the institutions explained the causes of the shortcomings and outlined the measures that have been taken to address them. The Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Education, Charles Karache, told PAC that some of the problems identified in the ministry's affiliated institutions stem from inadequate internal financial oversight. He assured the committee that the issue will be resolved. A common challenge across the institutions is the failure to adequately implement recommendations issued by the Auditor General. Rwanda Polytechnic and its affiliated commercial entity have recorded a decline in compliance with those recommendations, dropping from 83% to 56%, while the National Examination School Inspection Authority has achieved a compliance rate of just 53% in implementing the Auditor General's recommendations. Now, the Rwanda Demobilization and Reintegration Commission has announced that the Early Childhood Development Center, opened at the Mutobo Demobilization Center, is intended to address the needs of young children who arrive with their parents after leaving armed groups. The Ministry of Gender and Family Promotion has emphasized that children enrolled at the center will continue to receive follow-up support even after leaving the Mutobo Center. The ECD is designed to care for children born to parents who were formerly members of armed groups, particularly those operating in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Previously, while the children were admitted to the Mutobo Center with their parents, they remained with them throughout their stay and did not have access to specialized early childhood education. Now, Valerie Nyirahabineza, the chairperson of the Rwanda Demobilization and Reintegration Commission, said the establishment of the ECD Center provides an important solution for the young children received at the facility. Now, parents formerly associated with armed groups who have children at the center have praised the quality of care their children are receiving, noting that it is vastly different from the conditions they experienced while living in the forests of where they had been. Now, the Ministry of Gender and Family Promotion has reaffirmed that the ECD Center at Mutobo will continue to receive young children arriving with parents returning from the forests. It also stressed that once families leave the Mutobo Center, other childhood development centers across the country will continue supporting the children. The Minister of Gender and Family Promotion, Consuelo Wimana, reiterated the ministry's commitment to ensuring continuity of care. To date, the Mutobo Center reports that it has received a total of 283 children, including 82 aged up to 2 years, 76 aged between 3 and 5, 105 aged between 6 and 11, and 20 aged between 12 and 17. The newly established Early Childhood Development Center at Mutobo will admit only children up to the age of 5 years. Now, the ambassador of Sudan to Rwanda, that is His Excellency Musa Dafala Musa, has stated that the relations between Sudan and Rwanda are excellent and expressed his appreciation to the Rwandan leadership for opening the country's doors to Africans. He made the remarks during a working visit to Gicumbi district on Friday. The visit included discussions between the ambassador, the delegation he led, and Gicumbi district officials on investment opportunities available in the district. During the meeting, Gicumbi was presented as an attractive investment destination in agriculture, livestock, education, and tourism, owing to its unique characteristics. Ambassador Khalid Musa, the Fala Musa, said Sudan is proud of the strong cooperation between the leadership of the two countries. The mayor of Gicumbi district highlighted the district's fertile land, cool climate, and hilly terrain, which makes it well suited for sports and tourism, adding that the visit was intended to showcase the opportunities and attract investment. Diplomatic relations between Rwanda and Sudan were established in October 2003. Rwanda opened its embassy in Khartoum in 2006, while Sudan opened its embassy here in Kigali back in 2011. The two countries cooperate in a number of sectors. Sudan has invested more than $20 million in Rwanda's construction sector, while the two countries also collaborate in education and agriculture value addition. Now, Sudan is also one of the destinations for Rwanda's coffee exports, importing coffee worth more than $4 million annually. That is $4 million US dollars. During the visit, the ambassador also donated sports equipment to the Imere women's football team. Now, Rwandans and foreign nationals alike agree that Rwanda has undergone a remarkable transformation over the past 32 years, reflecting the choices made by Rwandans following the liberation struggle that ended the genocide against the Tutsi and liberated the country. 32 years ago, Rwanda was a country from which many people fled because there was little hope for a secure future. Following the liberation struggle, however, the situation changed dramatically, and many foreign nationals have since chosen to settle permanently in Rwanda. Governance experts and university academics note that people decide to relocate and settle in a particular country only when they find significant advantages there that are not available elsewhere. Rwandans themselves also acknowledge the progress the country has made, attributing it to a system of good governance that places citizens at the center of national development more than in any other countries. Legal experts say Rwanda is a country governed by the rule of law and one that openly combats corruption, qualities that were largely absent 32 years ago.
So, in my view, these achievements are founded on Rwanda's commitment to good governance and the rule of law. And Rwanda is consistently ranking among Africa's leading countries in adherence to the rule of law, which is a very good step, particularly maintaining security, combating corruption, which is a very good step, and delivering public services. So I would therefore wish to say that when you look at some organizations like Transparency International, Rwanda continues to be recognized as one of Africa's least corrupt countries, reflecting its zero tolerance policy towards corruption. So the country has enacted specific laws criminalizing corruption and money laundering. Each year, Rwanda ranks among the top performing African countries in international corruption perception assessments when you look at some of the reports that come up. But all this is based on governance, and the governance has given some kind of guidance that helps also Rwandans and institutions in the sectors, different sectors, to work together.
International reports published by institutions such as the World Bank, the International Monetary Fund, and many other organizations have repeatedly ranked Rwanda among the leading countries in a range of areas, including economic development, social welfare, and good governance. Now, the Rwanda Biomedical Center is urging young people to stay away from drugs and instead engage in activities that will help build a better future for them. Young people say that with students now on school holidays, they particularly need awareness programs that will help them resist individuals who attempt to lure them into drug abuse. A representative of the Rwanda National Police also called on the youth to avoid drug use and to not believe false information that could lead them into harmful activities. The head of the Mental Health Division at the Rwanda Biomedical Center, Dr. Darius Gishoma encouraged young people on holiday to avoid behaviors that could expose them to harmful habits and instead choose activities that contribute to their personal development. Research indicates that drug use among young people in Rwanda remains a significant concern. Various studies show that nearly 25% of young people use drugs, while more than 52% report having tried at least one illicit substance within the past month. Now, as regional trade continues to expand, Rwanda is investing in the people who keep goods moving across borders. Officials say strengthening the skills of customs and freight logistics professionals is key in making trade faster, more efficient, and more competitive. A total of 197 participants have graduated from Certificate in Customs and Freight Logistics program organized by the Rwanda Revenue Authority. The program equips professionals with practical skills in customs administration, freight forwarding, and international trade, helping them improve efficiency and compliance in their daily work. Graduates say the training has strengthened their professional skills, while the regionally, that is, recognized certificate will open up new opportunities across East Africa. The Rwanda Revenue Authority says the program is helping bridge knowledge gaps in the logistics sector and reduce preventable errors in customs operations by building a more skilled workforce. Officials add that as regional trade continues to grow and customs systems become increasingly digital, investing in skilled professionals will remain essential to facilitating trade, improving the movement of goods across borders, and supporting Rwanda's economic growth. Now, the Ministry of Agriculture and Animal Resources has announced new guidelines governing the distribution of government-subsidized mineral fertilizers and improved seeds for the 2027 season A planting period. The guidelines specify the crops eligible for the subsidy, the prices of agricultural inputs, and the companies authorized to distribute them. Under the revised pricing, the subsidized cost of DAP fertilizer has increased from 932 Rwandan francs per kilo to 1,060 Rwandan francs per kilo. Urea has risen from 810 Rwandan francs per kilo to 1,090 Rwandan francs per kilo, while NPK 17 has increased from 808 Rwandan francs per kilogram to 1,054 Rwandan francs per kilogram. The new guidelines also indicate that 6 private companies have been authorized to distribute agricultural inputs under the government subsidy. Now, Susan Asimwe, who represents one of the authorized distributors, commented on the new measures.
Of course, the impact on Middle East was huge on us as fertilizer suppliers. There was actually scarcity of some of the products like urea, and we as suppliers joined hands to make sure that at least we get a vessel, because there were no vessels that were even coming to East Africa. So different suppliers put together, and then were able to bring a vessel from Middle East to East Africa, and then that's where we have. So that already has an impact, because having a vessel of fertilizers with fewer fertilizer companies, it becomes very expensive in bringing. I think that's why you see a product like urea, the price has really gone high. Of course, it might have an impact on adoption, but what we are going to do, I think, jointly with government and other stakeholders, is the sensitization to farmers to make sure that the adoption does not go lower because the fertilizers have gone high. I think this is a joint work that we are going to do concurrently with Minagri, local government, and different stakeholders, so that we keep advertising, we keep sensitizing, and then also deploy extension on the field to make sure that the farmer adoption does not go low. I think Honorable Minister already shared in the ministerial guidelines we can see, but there is where we have like 40% increase, 20% increase. That's where there is actually where there was like 75% increase, but the government put in subsidy, like more subsidy, to reduce the burden to farmers. Yeah, so I think it's shared in the ministerial guidelines.
Farmers have called for fertilizers and other agricultural inputs to be delivered on time to ensure that they can plant without delays. Echoing this concern, the Minister of Agriculture and Animal Resources once again urged all stakeholders in the agricultural sector to ensure that inputs reach farmers promptly. The ministry has also warned distributors not to charge prices above the officially announced rates for subsidized fertilizers and improved seeds. It added that the current prices are temporary and could be reduced after a 6-month period. Now to education matters, and when schools close, it marks the beginning of the holiday season period for students. However, it is also a time when parents, schools, and public authorities are expected to intensify their efforts to provide greater care and guidance to children and young people. In addition to revising schoolwork, participating in educational activities, developing talents, and strengthening parental involvement, various initiatives have been introduced across the country to support students during the holidays and contribute to their overall development. Education professionals like Elina Mwanga are calling on parents to prepare adequately for their children's holidays.
Also, as a mother, I think that kids should be, the most important thing for the parents is to keep the routine, to know exactly the schedule, the meal routine, who the kids are seeing in these holidays, what are they doing, not to just leave them at home in front of the screen, eating junk food, maybe meeting some kids that will badly influence them or just move around on the streets. So the parents must take responsibility in these holidays, of course. I personally believe that kids need some break out of school, not to just be in front of books, because many parents, they want during the holidays also to occupy the kids with some learning. I think this is the time to refresh the mind and just really enjoy the holidays, enjoy the summer.
Now, Rwanda's Minister of Gender and Family Promotion, Kosole Wimana, is reminding parents that they bear the primary responsibility for raising and educating their children, and that this responsibility remains just as important during the school holidays. I'm glad you took the time to join us for this edition, and I hope you'll do so again. Until I see you, it's goodbye.